Our picture does show where we have this band of some light snow showers or just flurries from Hinckley going through the Twin Cities now and off to the south. Temperatures here in the 20s. We are below freezing for everyone, and that is where we will stay as we head into the overnight going into tomorrow. This is important because we've been above freezing since really going up to midnight last night, so we're seeing the sidewalks, some of those streets refreeze. I noticed that walking into work. Walk like a penguin warning for you. Temperatures down into the 20s, and then tomorrow another chance for kind of like what we're seeing now, some flurries. We'll take a look at that, and when we finally climb back above freezing, coming up in a bit, Erin.
All right, thanks, Lisa.
Freezing now. We were actually above freezing for a while, and then after midnight this morning, that's when we dropped a little bit after midnight. That's when we dropped below freezing. So now we're starting to see those sidewalks refreeze, and that's going to hold steady actually until we get into about midweek. So heads up on that. Otherwise, we're tracking a few flurries today and for tomorrow, and then a cold weekend when we look at next weekend. What's going on now? Radar picture showing a band of light snow along I-35 to the north of the Twin Cities, starting to push in toward Minneapolis, and then further this thing kind of arcs back off to the southwest here. So coming into the Twin Cities over the next hour or so, we're looking at very light snow showers or even just flurries. We don't anticipate this to add to any type of an impact on the roadways. I think watching for that refreeze mainly on the sidewalk, something to watch out for. Here it is, a little bit of a bigger picture, the stretch of this thing, and this is associated with this system that is continuing to depart the upper Midwest. So notice we're going to keep with a few isolated flurries or snow showers as we continue to go into about 9 p.m. tonight. Location for this is favoring either eastern Minnesota or portions of western Wisconsin. Not a big deal, but something at least worth mentioning, right? Then we have this. We're tracking a cold front that'll start to swing on through here, and we have basically a slight disturbance. That's what's causing this right here, and we have another one coming up here tomorrow, so that might make an impact for you when it comes to, again, seeing some light snow or just some snow flurries. I think the bigger thing to take away with the forecast here would be these temperatures. So notice that for today, we had our high temp of 33. That was pretty much earlier this morning, and then temperatures continue to fall. So we did drop below freezing today, of course 32, and we will stay below freezing. So any treatment that you have to do on the sidewalks, of course what they'll be doing out on the roadways, we're going to have to continue to watch as we stay below freezing really until we go into Wednesday. Everyone below freezing, even down to 15 in Bemidji, 28 right now in the Twin Cities, and we'll take you down to the low 20s as we head into tonight. 21 in the Twin Cities, some teens as you look further off, just off to the west. And then for tomorrow, cloud cover in place. We're going to be dealing with the clouds for quite some time this weekend and next week. Temperature for tomorrow, 27. Average is 23, so this is still above average. We've just been a little warm recently, really, from last week and through the weekend, despite this weather system. So here's the breakdown for tomorrow. Cloudy, temperatures into the 20s. Once we get into about dinner time, that's when we might see a couple of snow flurries push on through. Can't rule out accumulation. It would be less than half of an inch, probably a few tenths of an inch of snowfall going through the next 24 hours. And then the rest of your 7-day forecast, still quiet. We don't have any big weather systems here on the board, just cloud cover in place. Peak of the weekday, midweek Wednesday, back up to 32 for your high temperature there. And then here's that cold air that drops back down. Notice we even dropped down below 0 with our lows going into the next weekend. We're looking at those temperatures in the teens. I know Erin prefers the warmer weather, so I'll stand here for you, Erin.
I do. We're not used to the below 0
this is
winter.
The coldest time of year, though, so we should actually be pretty happy about this.
Okay, sounds good, Lisa. Lisa's back with a final look at your forecast.
Well, Erin, after a couple of days in the 30s, tomorrow we'll feel a little bit cooler. Temperatures only in the 20s, cloudy skies, and then looking at some light snow flurries as we go through the PM hours about dinner time. Rest of your 7-day forecast, we are not tracking any big weather systems, just cloud cover. Slight warm up by Wednesday, getting back freezing, lower 30s there, but then another dip in the temps by the time we round out the work week going on into the weekend. Our high temperatures drop off quite a bit, so we'll actually be back below freezing as we go into the weekend. So get ready for a chillier next week.
All right, the CBS Evening News. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Erin. Yes, you described it perfectly. Quick burst of flurries moving through. This is I-94 at Humboldt Avenue. Notice not an impact when it comes to traffic necessarily. Anything slick out there also because of the refreeze that we're noticing from our temperatures. But yes, a couple of flurries with this real quick burst of either flurries or very light snow showers. Currently pushing along 35, making its way through the Twin Cities right now and further off to the south. This is swinging from west to east, and as you can see with our forecast, we'll continue to watch this more so into western Wisconsin until we go into about 9 p.m. and then we'll be done, at least for today. Tomorrow, same deal. Another very quick light disturbance moves on through for the afternoon hours. Might bring a little bit of very light snowfall, but the temperature, something you're going to notice because we're down below freezing for the first time today. And that means that refreeze will stick around until we warm up as we go into the midweek. I'll tell you when we can expect that coming up, Erin.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lisa.
Right there with you again. Take it slow on the sidewalks because we're seeing those temperatures refreeze, which means even though we may not have seen any snow recently, it is still slick on some of those locations. Temperatures below freezing really continuing into the beginning of the week and until Wednesday. So we do have temperatures below freezing to start off the work week. A few flurries that we're tracking today and tomorrow. And then we do have a warm up as we go into the middle of the week. That'll be followed by another cool down, and this will probably be the coolest air that we've seen so far this January. That's because it's been so mild, actually, but still, it's going to feel quite a bit chillier just because of the mild air we've been dealing with so far this month. Here's what we're dealing with on the radar. A little bit of light snow shower activity pushing through the metro. It's right now along 35, going through the Twin Cities, and then stretching all the way down into Mankato. Cloud cover in place. That will stick around tonight, tomorrow, through a lot of the forecast. We are not going to get much of a break when it comes to the clouds, but we do not have any big weather systems on the map here on the way. This is our last winter storm that we saw. We have a couple of disturbances that are going to swing on through. We're dealing with one now. We have another one as we go into tomorrow. When we say slight disturbances, we deal with what we're seeing out there now, just some flurries or also some very light snow showers and not too much in the way of accumulation. Temperatures, again, probably the bigger story because we hit 33 for our high today, and that was much earlier this morning. We've dropped below that now, and we will stay below freezing again until we go into midweek. So that's why we have the refreeze out there on the sidewalks. 27, our current temp in the Twin Cities, down into the teens. Alexandria 17, also as we look out to Bemidji. Temperatures tonight will be below freezing, but still above average by quite a bit. 21 our forecast low tonight. Normally we're at 7. Cloudy tonight. Same deal as we head into tomorrow. Again, a few flurries. Right now it looks like it's going to be PM hours, about 3 to 5 when we could see pretty much what we're dealing with right now again for tomorrow. Temperatures in the 20s here. So tomorrow's high coming in at 27 degrees. And here's that breakdown hour by hour because I want to show you as we go into about 6 p.m. That is when we could be dealing with another one of those quick disturbances, quick burst of snow flurries or light snow showers swinging on through. Temperatures, again, like I said, though, staying below that freezing point. Here's your snowfall scenarios. Less than half of an inch, all of them coming into agreement with this as we go throughout tomorrow. So this just goes to show that we won't be adding much with this weather system. Rest of your 7-day forecast as we jump into Wednesday, we're back up to 32 for our high. So we have this real quick warm up going into Wednesday and then another cool down, and quite a bit actually. Look at these lows dropping all the way down below 0 as we go into Friday, Saturday, those high temperatures back into the teens. So we are going down below average with these numbers, and we haven't noticed these temperatures like this throughout the month of January because it's been so mild. So this is your heads up on that because we're gonna have to change how we're dressing probably for a lot of us, and it's gonna be quite a bit cooler. But that's not until next weekend, Erin.
We can take our time getting to Friday. All right. Thanks, Lisa.
Not too bad. Couple flurries coming up here tomorrow. Otherwise, cloud cover. We stay below freezing until Wednesday. Warm up a bit there and then really drop off. That cold air back in place as we head into the end of the week and as we head into the weekend. So get prepared for some cold air, but get outside and enjoy this quiet weather forecast until then.
That is quiet. Thanks, Lisa, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here tonight at 10. Here tracking some cooler temps and maybe even a few flurries, Lisa.
Yep, just a couple of flurries, not enough to make an issue on the roadways, but still something you might have noticed this afternoon. We ended up with a trace of snowfall in the Twin Cities, just about 2/10 of an inch out in Siren by one of our weather watchers, Matt, reporting that, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to our current radar picture, let's focus in close to the Rochester region. Notice some of this reflectivity popping up here. This is where we do have a winter weather advisory that is in place, and it goes until midnight for these locations. So a heads up if you're making your way toward La Crosse, and that is due to an ice glaze on the roadways in these locations due to some freezing drizzle. Everyone else, we do not have any winter weather advisories, warnings, or anything like that. We do have this, a temperature trend below freezing, and will stay below freezing. We're down into the 20s. We pop back up into the mid-20s tomorrow, so any of that ice that did form with these dropping temperatures, it'll stay there. We'll also track a couple more flurries coming up here for tomorrow afternoon, and then a warm up as we go into midweek. We'll take a look at those details coming up, Erin.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Get into those icy sidewalks and roads today. Any chance we're going to get any melting anytime soon?
As we go into midweek, definitely. That's when I think we'll go above freezing, but that's not until Wednesday. So that's a very good point. That may be the most important point of this forecast that you're listening to, truthfully, because if you didn't notice, yeah, we didn't really add much when it came to precipitation today, but our temps did drop below freezing for the first time today. And like I said, they'll stay that way till Wednesday. So refreezing on the sidewalks could be an issue. Take it slow on the sidewalks. Then we're talking about some flurries. That's a possibility coming up here tomorrow. Not a big deal, but something we'll watch, and also not for everyone. And then we also have that midweek warm up that will be followed by a cold weekend. We're going to go back below average, and after the streak of above average temps we've seen throughout the month of January, it's probably going to be noticeably different. Right now on radar, we do have a little bit of light snow still popping up in the Rochester area. Again, that winter weather advisory until midnight if you're headed toward La Crosse. That could be an issue, but that's about it when it comes to any precip on the map. We're done with the flurries here in the metro. This satellite loop is clearing some of the cloud cover out, but I do anticipate us to stay rather cloudy, not just tonight, but also tomorrow. We are going to be in a cloudy streak as we go throughout the weekend and as we continue to head on into the week. All right, so our surface map showing where we have our next disturbance in place. These are weak disturbances. We're not talking about this big weather system that came through bringing 2 days of weather impacts with snowfall and winds. That's off to the east. These slight disturbances bring a quick burst of snow flurries. We saw it right around the 6 o'clock news time here in the Twin Cities. You saw it on maybe radar, and you saw it on some of our sky cams, but you didn't see a big impact on the surface. So that is definitely good news if you're worried about anything travel going on tomorrow. Here's your almanac, and I want to show you this. 33, that was our high today. That happened a couple hours after midnight this morning, and we've dropped below freezing, and we will stay below freezing. So that means that we are going to continue to look at these temperatures that are going to allow for that refreezing to be out there, probably dealing with a lot of salt on the sidewalk, something we're going to have to continue to watch as we go. The answer coming up because all these stats were recently released. So we'll take a look at some more of the hills.
Wait, I told you, I promised you, Lisa, I'm going to answer every time now. So I'm going with B.
Okay.
Write it down.
We'll see if Erin is right.
Log my answer. Okay, thanks, Lisa.
Also important to note would be the fact that the top 10 warmest years have all occurred since 2000. When it comes to the U.S., it was the 5th hottest year on record. You can see it right here. When it comes to the state of Minnesota, Minnesota tied with 3 other years as the 13th warmest year. Of course, this warming is due to human-influenced climate change. Despite the drop in fossil fuels that we saw this year or last year due to COVID, we still ended up with these results. So we will continue to see this trend until we start to make some changes. If you want to look at the raw data of this, more info on this, the scientific data, you can go to my Facebook page, Meteorologist Lisa Meadows. It's posted there, and Meteorologist Mike Augustianek also always posts stuff like this. When it comes to today's almanac, we hit 33 for our high. That happened a couple hours after midnight. This is important because 33 above freezing, we had that snow, kind of a wet snow. A lot of it did melt, and maybe for some of us it wasn't an issue when it came to some of the roadways or also the sidewalks. It became more of an issue today because temperatures continue to drop from that 33 Below that, our current temp is down into the 20s. Everyone on the map below freezing, even the teens once you look out to St. Cloud. And that does mean that we're seeing some refreezing. I will attest to that. Those sidewalks are slippery. Please make sure you take it slow. Do not want to slip and fall out there because this is something you can deal with tomorrow. Radar picture showing a little bit of reflectivity still in the Rochester area. If you plan on driving to La Crosse between now and midnight, there's a winter weather advisory in place because of a little bit of freezing drizzle and a bit of an ice glaze issue, at least in that location. Rest of us looking quiet when it comes to our radar picture, and it will remain quiet with the exception of a couple of flurries. As we continue to head into tomorrow, about 5 p.m. or so, we could see a quick burst of flurries or light snow move through the Twin Cities, pretty much like what we saw today. Shouldn't be that big of a deal, but temperature wise, those numbers will be in the 20s. Maybe you're going to do a little bit of ice fishing tomorrow. Check the ice. It could be thin in a lot of locations. Temperature's not too bad. Our wind chill values will be pretty much into the teens. And when it comes to the rest of that 7-day forecast, we trend up back to freezing. Might even jump a little bit above that for Wednesday. And then we trend down quite a bit as we go into the weekend. Get ready for some cooler air in place.
All right. Thanks.